And so, here we are again. Another thrilling tale of the Kobolds and their journey into the heart of the city of Ythryn, the lost Netherese city that fell around 2,000 years ago into the heart of the Rugged Glacier. Currently, the Kobolds are facing a bit of a peril as they were surprised by four mimics after inspecting a museum of the long-lost city, into which we are currently in the midst of a heated combat encounter, to which we will resume post-haste. So, everyone, we will continue at the top of the round, which has us starting with Scales. So let me get up some wonderful music by the wonderful and talented Travis Savoy. So, Scales, what do you do? Currently, we're still in ape form.
I'm going to pick up some rubble at the feet of Hawks and yeet it at one of the one to the direct left of Meebo.
Alrighty, this one right there. Go ahead and chuck it. As the ape form, you pick up that little bit of rubble. It basically is one of the collapsed pillars that was lying next to the staircase. You pick it up and you kind of like lean back and you. The ape form tosses the rubble, connects right in to the side of the mimic, which is still kind of resembling the form of a pillar. And as the rock impacts the side, it splits the mimic into two different sections as it plops into two different bits and is no more.
Ah. That's my turn.
Very well. Skinnock Ratbiter, it is your turn.
Oh. I'm going to take aim at the one next to Meepo. I'm going to shoot it with a firebolt.
Very well.
Not quite as fancy, but...
Not quite as fancy, but it'll do the job. Oh!
We're back, baby!
Wow.
I want to point out that's like 2 away from being max. Wow, really starting off strong. So, as soon as the rock thrown by Scales impacts the other one, but it tries, the mimic next to Meepo tries to dodge out of the way of the remaining rubble, and as it does, it lines you up perfectly for your shot. As the fire goes right into its open jaws, and as it snaps close its mouth, you see a little burst of steam as the mimic burns from the inside and just collapses into a pile of silvery gray goo and is no more.
Thanks, boys.
Well, well then, is that your turn, Skinark?
I feel like I'm also just going to walk this way a little bit. Yep.
Walking out of the way. All right.
Out of your range. That'll be my turn.
All right, Meepo, that means it is your turn. You are no longer bombarded on sides by wiggly pillars with giant gaping maws.
This changes a lot. Another thing I would like to know is kind of the status of my allies. I'm not as current on their like positions or like their health, because last time I was kind of keeping track of who'd been hit, and I didn't like write any of that down. I just kind of was paying attention.
I would say you do notice that Hawks is probably the most hurt. Skinnock has taken a little bit, and Scales is Scales was extremely hurt, but the ape form has soaked up some of
Right.
the damage.
So I'm gonna want to save some healing for when he's coming out of his ape.
That is what you know from the current
We
status.
can't fly out of here, so.
Right. Yeah, unfortunately, Villain tried to use some of her higher spell slots to end the fight more quickly to prevent more damage from being done.
Right. I think I'll just 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40 and a disengage. So that the mimic doesn't hit me when I get out of its reach.
Alright.
Or am I still in its reach?
Currently, we're still in its reach. You do know that they seem to have the tentacles can reach out a decent amount. I would say, actually, you know
So
what? Now that I think about it, let me double check something real quick. You notice that the bite is a bit closer, so you would be in range for a bite if you moved out that way.
So if I moved to where I am here, I would still get an attack of opportunity from a bite.
Yes, from a
Then I
bite,
would
but
still
not the
disengage.
pseudopods.
Right, I would disengage then.
Very well.
Move to where I am. And that'll be my action for now.
Very well. No bonus actions that you'd like to use?
No, I already have Sanctuary on, and I don't think I have any others that would be helpful here.
Fair enough. In that case, it is the Spitting Mimic's turn, the single one remaining. Let me go ahead and roll to see if it gets that spittle back. Which it does not. So, what it's gonna do is it's gonna slither and dither on this way. Let's see here. It is going to... You know what? It's gonna take a little smack against you, Hawks, with its pseudopods.
Huh?
That is a 26 for the one pseudopod.
Not much I can do about that.
Alright, so you are going to take...
You don't have a reaction to make it reroll or something?
No, I can only use that if an ally gets attacked.
Let's
I
see.
see.
So that is
I
going to
didn't
be
realize
9 points of bludgeoning damage, and you are subject to its adhesive trait. So you are now in range for getting advantaged. Let me see. So, in that case, it's going to use its bite attack against you with that, and it's going to use other pseudopod against scales. But first, the bite attack on you.
Okay.
Another 26 to hit.
Yeah, not much I can do there.
So that's going to be 12 points of piercing damage, as in addition to... minimum acid damage. 2 points of acid damage. That's fine. As it's basically chomping down on the hawks, you use scale, something get whipped around as it tries to lash out at you. For a 22 to hit the ape, which I believe will hit.
That hits.
It will re-roll that because of my runic field. Let me just okay. Boom.
Forced to roll. That's a 14 then.
Still hits.
Darn. Still good try
AC
though.
12.
Oof. Alright, that's fine, because you will take minimum damage, 6 points of bludgeoning damage, but that'll be a DC 10 Constitution saving throw to maintain concentration, which I believe, since you have Warcaster, you have a very high chance of succeeding, but let's see how it goes. Ow. Let's see how that concentration check goes. Where's my mouse? Okay, so...
Good thing I rolled a 1.
Ooh, very good thing indeed. Oh, wow. Excellent, though. Okay, so, with that said, that's going to be its turn. Therefore, it is now Valin's turn. She kind of like looks to herself. Right, I use my more powerful spells. Let's try a little bit of conservation. She kind of reaches out her hand, and that skeletal hand will once again kind of form behind one of the mimics. It is going to try and hit it with a chill touch. 13 to hit, which will unfortunately just miss the mimic. As the skeletal hand kind of tries to grasp onto part of the goo, it just sort of wriggles out of its grasp and just kind of like, just kind of lunges out with its tongue. Drat! Villain will kind of scamper off this direction, back towards the door. Therefore, it is your turn now, Hawks. You've taken a little bit of a beating.
Okay, so am I grappled or grappled and restrained?
You are currently just grappled.
Okay.
The reason it has advantage is because it has a trait on... It has advantage on creatures it is grappling, even though you're not technically restrained.
And do you remember if I roared at it last turn?
I remembered you roared earlier, but I don't remember if it was last turn or not. I remember you were attacking with a roar on your last turn.
I don't believe you have it roared at the moment.
Okay.
What's the icon at the top right corner of it? The sword.
Good question. I don't remember putting that.
That might have been from it being hit with your lance. Or your...
Oh, you know what? I know exactly what it is. That's the chill. That's the chilled.
Because we had that noted when we left.
Okay.
That's what that is. Okay, so we can only take an action or bonus action, not both. That's what that is.
And can't use reaction, so it couldn't have hit Nico.
Correct.
Oh, well, I would have taken the dodge action, which would have done exactly what it did this time. So.
Good point of order. Thank you for bringing that up. Now, yeah.
I think I'm going to assume that after this sort of thing, we're probably going to try and get rest and recuperate. So I'm going to use my last Draconic Roar. I'm also going to switch away from my glowing-eyed cat icon real quick. Ooh, there we go. And because of that, I will do advantage with my javelin. And I'll try to bop him 3 times. Bop, bop, and bop.
So, yes, yes, and yes.
And one of them gets a d4 from Giant's Might. Which, not relevant which one it is. So 10 piercing, 4 cold, 10 piercing, 4 cold, 10 piercing, 6 cold.
That's a lot of damage.
Yes. And then 2 more piercing. So 32 piercing and 14 cold.
Okay. It is still standing. However, that took a large chunk out of it. It's just swaths of that grayish kind of grayish gooey substance it's made out of. It just kind of slashes off a little bit by little bit, sticking to the ground like glue as it does so.
And there's not much else for me to do.
Very well. In that case, Scales, that means it is back to the top of the turn order, and it is your turn.
I'm going to reach out and I'm going to grab him by his ugly tentacles next to his face.
Okay.
So, as part of my attack action, I'm going to do the make a grapple check.
All right. Go ahead in that case to roll an athletics check, or strength if you're not proficient in athletics. Okay, not bad. Oh!
Drat.
You figure it's interesting.
Hey.
Yeah?
One other thing. Flash Genius, you add a 5 to that.
once he started talking, I was like, I know exactly what's coming here.
How do you want to flavor this flash of genius, Skinnock?
See. No, your other left. I like to think that it's just like random, unhelpful. Like the flash of genius thing is always random, unhelpful bullshit that distracts the enemy long enough for
just enough for it to like
right.
go.
Like, we know better than to actually listen to it.
Yeah,
But they're like, what
exactly.
is he doing? What is he doing?
So he's telling us to do this. Let's do the exact opposite.
Yeah.
So you're being helpful by being unhelpful.
Yes.
Perfection. I expect nothing less. In that case, you Scales, in your giant ape form, you kind of like your ape form kind of goes. You just kind of goes. You can just kind of squish it, and it makes like a little squeaky noise. And as the tongue kind of lolls out from the force of your grasp.
What were you saying, Caleb?
I was gonna say, and then I followed it up with a fist flavored as a skull-crushing headbutt.
Ooh, all right, smack him.
You have advantage on this from the roar.
Ooh, how? As you headbutt this mimic into the ground, is there any particular way you want to flavor this as you kill it?
Well, my head just like crushes its. I have no idea what the anatomical skull of a giant mimic is.
It
but
has no skull. It's basically goo that looks like a teeth and mouth.
Works for me. It hurts though. And as it goes slump, I throw it against the wall.
And it makes a solid squishing as it does so. And it just kind of slurps the ground. Dead. Just move his. There we go. For some reason, if I have a token that's too close to the side of the map, it won't let me hit the X because like it'll just be like showing off the screen. So I have to move everyone just a little bit to do that. But needless to say, the mimics are all dead, and therefore combat draws to a close. And Villain just lets out a big, oh, oh. She kind of wipes a bead of sweat off of her brow. That I was not prepared for something of that nature. And I'm feeling a bit tapped out. Is everyone all right?
Yeah. I was like,
Oh, good. Professor, are you all right? Oh, yes, he's fine. Oh,
A little bit hurt, but,
yeah.
sometimes in life you get attacked by a pillar and there's not much you can do about it but attack back.
I've got a bit of. I've also got a bit of healing to supplement Meepos if Stephen is close to the end of his spell slots. I don't know what that
I
situation
still
is.
have some spells. I just kind of want to save them for just in case something happens on our way back. Because I don't
Yeah,
think we should
it's probably
sleep
the best.
in here.
for that I would definitely agree.
Definitely.
Well, I do want to poke around just a little bit longer, though, because I'm noticing
Right.
something that I didn't see before, as she kind of points up towards the ceiling. Because of how fast things transpired, you have not gotten a chance to really inspect the general interior architecture of the inside of the building. Because on the outside, you did notice that there was a large stained glass dome. And as you point your gun up to the ceiling, Skanuk, and thankfully there are no more mimics that you know of. But what you do see is that there is the interior, the large dome ceiling, is still intact, and it is quite a sight to behold. On the outside, it just appeared to be regular stained glass. You couldn't really get a sense of what sort of art it had. but on the inside, it is a whole masterfully done piece. It depicts a very powerful mage standing on a balcony of the Enclave's central spire, that large building in the center of the city. That this figure is addressing a sea of Netherese citizens below, who stare up at the figure, cheering, just a massive wave of people. And Villain will say, from what I'm guessing, and from what I can see, she kind of looks around and she notices there is a small plaque that has an arrow pointed up towards the ceiling, and there's a bit of frost sort of covering it. She'll kind of wipe it down. As I suspected, this is an image of Eriolathus at the height of his power. And from the looks of it, magically preserved. There's even a bit of an arcane glow to it. Also, you gotta point to the sides. There's portraits here. 8 of them specifically. And you all can notice this as well. Each of these portraits, there are 8 of them as she described. Each of them appears to depict a different mage, all in a sort of regal attire that is typical, you assume, of the fashion of the time. And you notice that there are plaques under each of these portraits. And she will kind of go around, kind of wiping them down. But as she's doing so, you notice 2 things immediately, as 2 of the portraits have faces that you recognize, if somewhat changed. Specifically, there is one portrait that matches the figure that you had seen who was wearing the crown. And one figure whose face you immediately recognize as the one whose face was on the adamantine statue in the Tower of Transmutation.
Right. We still need to figure out how to get that crown off.
Oh, it's off. We just need to figure out how to destroy it.
Right.
What crown?
Nothing.
Yes, nothing. She goes and wipes off the plaque. You notice that the 2 individuals who you had seen before, the woman who was in the Tower of Transmutation, went under the name High Transmuter Metaltra, and the woman with the crown in the Tower of Enchantment was High Enchanter Evira. The other names come to you thusly. Under each school of magic, each of them, the 8 apprentices, the first apprentices of Eriolathus. High Abjurer Taruth, High Conjurer Damberith, High Diviner Apius, High Necromancer Catavix, High Evoker Zadulus, and High Illusionist Ajamar. I can go back to these names if need be at some point. Yes, it appears that these are the wizards of the Ebon Star, that little bit of tidbit we had learned earlier. It seems that these wizards are those particular few. And if I'm correct, each of them, at their towers, has the part of the ritual that we need.
It'd have been nice if we hadn't gone to the Enchanter's Tower first.
I agree.
Yeah.
If, perhaps I still have high hopes that either Abjuration or Conjuration, or even the Tower of Divination might have answers for us on ways to get rid of that. But there must be somewhere in this city that can get rid of that. There must be. If they could make it, they could surely destroy it. It's just a matter of figuring out how to do so. Don't worry, Mr. Hagner. We'll get this done.
Who's Mr. Hagnar?
Oh, no, it's gotten that far. Oh,
Hux winks at Nepo.
Never mind, I'm not gonna have you make a deception check on that one. You'll just see her like act genuinely concerned.
Oh man, where did all these kobolds come from?
Oh, okay. We need to leave. We need to quickly find some spot of rest, and then we need to get back to it. He's losing his mind.
How long did we have before this got too much worse?
I believe Mr. Skinnock mentioned that it was around 10 days before it's permanent, but
Okay, so we've got time.
Didn't we get to like repeat the save at the end of 10 hours or something, or like an hour? And we were.
Right, he's both growing and losing his mind simultaneously
Or,
every hour.
no, that's what I was trying to remember. It
so
was
the initial
at the end of an
save-
hour, he gets to repeat the save, and we were planning to like pile on a bunch of boosts to that,
Correct.
so we could make that save, and it hadn't quite gotten there yet.
But
when we were
here's
here.
the thing: do we
Except
have any boosts
There
left?
is something else because you did actually move the crown. You no longer need to make those saves, but the memories will remain taken.
Right. Fair enough.
Okay, that's good.
Don't be destroyed.
Very well then. I think we should. Already spent a good chunk of time here. Unless you wish to inspect a little bit further, I don't know what else we could. It's curious because that she kind of points towards this aberrant, disgusting, dead creature in the center of the room. That is the most interesting thing in this room, and I have no idea how to utilize it, unless it still had. What was it said on the plaque? Injecting its eggs into victims? Unless we could weaponize that, which I don't think we should. I truly
What's
do
this
not-
back here?
That, and she kind of looks at it. As you're looking at it too, it appears to be a snow white rabbit that is currently in a glass sphere. That appears to be a rabbit in a glass sphere.
Why?
That is a very good question.
You think it has eggs in it?
She kind of looks at you all terrified. Oh my lord, I hope not.
Probably does. Why else would it be in here? Is there any, like, plaque?
She kind of looks around. There is, in fact, a plaque beneath it. She kind of rubs it off a little bit. Oh dear. Stage 1 of infection. Oh, implantation. That's a definite yes then. It's magically preserved in order. Yeah, I'm walking away from that.
Did you notice there were 2 more?
I did, and they're broken.
They're broken. And that was stage 1. Gonna slowly get closer and see if I can see what it says under stage on this one.
Let's see. Stage 3.
Stage 3.
Emergence.
And I'm assuming that the other one is stage
Probably pre. Let's look at it.
stage 2.
Stage 2. Growths.
Right.
Ox will talk to the taxidermied creature. It's okay. We'll find your little ones.
Let's not.
No, we don't, Mr. Hagner. No, we don't. We do not. We do not at all.
But look how distressed she seems.
You know what? I don't even know if
I'm-
that is a she. That could very well be a he or a hermaphrodite. Quite frankly, I'm too terrified to tell.
I'm just gonna leave.
So am I. I believe you have the right of it, Miss Molo.
Anything fancy looking, just pick it up as we go and try not to get cursed.
Right.
Ox picks up this chair and throws it over his shoulder.
Huh. Is there any particular direction you're throwing it?
Oh, no, he's like
just-
holding it over his
Yeah,
shoulder.
he's just like lifting it onto his shoulder and hoisting it around like
Oh,
he's
okay.
got
I
like
thought
a
you were like
log.
literally throwing it over your shoulder, like tossing it. Gotcha. Okay. You're just
Nope.
kinda...
I'm walking out with the chair. I'm obtaining a chair.
All right.
It was fancy looking.
Add museum chair to your inventory.
Does it look like there's anything else of worth in here?
Truthfully, it seems like most of what has been in here has either been salvaged for something else or is not here any longer.
We have just a little bit longer.
Roll an
on the
investigation
Bolting
check. Roll investigation.
Bond. Bolting Bond. There we go.
23?
4.
Oh, 24? Someone has definitely been here before you. Because you notice there is a broken lantern that is not of the age that belongs in this place. And not of a past age either, a modern age.
Did any of those drow look like they had something coming out of them?
I don't think so. Well, if I was to make a guess, I'd say that some of Avarice's lackeys got here before we could.
They run into problems because of this. Sucks to be them. Also, who's Avarice?
All right, that's it. We're leaving. We need...
Right, let's go.
We're getting out of here. All right, and as you do leave, just no, I'm not taking. You're not taking the Nothic with you. I'm just unless you want to.
Fox picks up a Nothic and throws it in the chair.
There you go. There you go.
I don't think we need that.
Just
You sure?
let him have this. Let him have this. It's probably the last vestige of memory he has left.
No, you're right. He's missing an eye. It's kind of defective. Hux will toss it on the ground and follow the group.
Ah. So, with that in mind, using your knowledge of weaving around the city, I will say, are you guys going to head directly towards the icy bridge and try and get your way out of the city before the equivalent of nightfall, essentially, to take a long rest? What do you think?
That's probably. Oh no, he returns.
Back from the dead!
It sounds like the best option to me.
Yeah.
Especially since we are expecting a angry bird.
I feel like that was a feature, not a bug on Savage. Also, who's Savage?
He like half remembers.
I think he's joking because I think he's got the forgetting curse.
Yeah, this is entirely a combination between the forgetting thing and the fact that Hux like literally cannot take anything seriously right now. So he is entirely unconcerned for his own memories and is making a joke about it. Yeah. It's a pretty bad state to be in, honestly, but
Yeah, we should fix that.
Yeah, as you all are kind of walking, Villain does pipe up. Now, we could continue on our current path towards the bridge, but the Tower of Abjuration is in our path. We could visit there before we head out. Of course, if that's only if you want to risk it.
risk it for the biscuit.
Yeah. We've already got 2 secrets, right?
We've gotten quite a few secrets. We found two of the arcane Octad rituals.
Right. So if we end the day with 3, that's almost half, and we can get a full set in. We can probably finish the set tomorrow.
That sounds like a plan to me.
Would
I'm okay
someone
with that.
mind healing me first, though?
I can do that.
I believe Mr.
Holy
Scales is also feeling
shit.
very, very ragged.
Scales, are you still a monkey? Ape?
No.
Yeti?
No.
Alright.
Doesn't look any different to me.
Heal Scales.
Wait a minute. Holy shit. Is that how that works? I'm not sure if Arcane Fire Armor applies to healing spells. It probably doesn't. That seems like to be bullshit.
What's the specific wording?
Damage rolls. Okay. A bonus to one of the spell's damage rolls. Okay.
Ah, okay.
That's probably what it is.
Healing damage.
Well, you know.
Negative damage, that's how it's handled in some.
If you were damaging a golem, it would work.
Yeah, actually.
I feel like at that point you're discussing like doing negative amounts of damage.
Yeah. Anyway, 70 health to scales.
I suddenly feel a lot better.
76, thank you very much.
Oh, did you do that to scales? I thought you did it to Hawks.
The intent was scales, because I saw that he was on 3.
Right. I was waiting for him to go back from being a monkey so I could use heal on him to get
Right.
him
Okay.
his
Well,
3 ways.
that takes care of that last 3 hit points he would have been missing.
Fair.
Well, technically, I still have
Aid.
aid, so my maximum HP is 83. So
So you're good.
Thank you.
It all
Yeah.
went to him.
Oh, Bowser, you're so.
Bowser. All right.
Thank you.
We are
Sorry about
wending
that.
our way to the ice shelf.
You come down.
Tower of Abjuration.
Okay, so you're going.
Oh, are we going to the ice shelf or to the tower?
That could be up for debate if you think you should rest now.
Oh.
But Villain did point out he was on the way, and if there was a way to get rid of Hawks' condition, it might be a good bet, because Abjuration is a type of magic that is
Wait.
emphasizing protection. And
We're here, right? And we're trying to get here. The abjuration one is here, isn't it?
The Abjuration one is right here.
Oh, well then what's this one?
That's the Tower of Transmutation, which you've been to.
Okay, and that one's enchantment. Okay, I thought that was transmutation.
This
and that was
this one right here is Illusion, which you didn't go to. The enchantment one is all the way over here.
So then let me
what are the
move-
green check marks?
That's the ones we've been to.
Ah,
I put those there. So that we wouldn't get confused and that I was wrong about one of the towers.
It happens.
Yeah, that's all good.
That's okay. So wait, this one is illusion.
So yes, that one right there is Illusion.
This one
That one is Abjuration, which we have
Yeah,
not
let's
been
go to the abjuration tower and then on to the shelf.
Very well. So we're in agreement then. Excellent.
Yes?
Yes?
Was any healing directed at Hawks?
I can do that now. I still have some spell slots. Let's do cure wounds. One d8 plus 5.
Come on, I believe you. No minimum roll. No minimum roll. Big money, no whammies.
Look, it was big money.
Hey!
Nor a whammy.
A big 12 points of healing. That's pretty good.
Hawks now has 41 hit points.
Excellent. Do you have a... No, I was going to ask something else, but no, it's all good. Excellent. So, in that case... You approach what you believe to be the Tower of Abjuration. And as you approach, its tower reaches upward like a talon. Its very stonework studded in chiseled runes, and a blue light is shining from its highest window.
I don't trust that light.
Yeah, I will say you do notice that the very top of the tower, there appears to be a giant hole, in the side of it.
If only we could fly.
Man, someone really abjured the crap out of that wall.
Yeah, that is
Well,
not what I'd expect from Tower of Abjuration, unless something was heavily abjured here and there was a failure in that regard.
if that's the only way in, I
there
could
A door
I could
at the
like
basement?
drop a. Oh, sorry. Yep.
What were you saying, Mr. Skinnock?
Well, I could always fly up and like lower a rope down. I don't know that Hawks would have a great time, but maybe you could just do a co-op.
You can fly?
Yeah.
You can fly.
Yes.
Good, because I can't. I have no longer have the ability to. Oh.
Oh. Huh. What do these
I've
look like?
had those for weeks. Have you not?
You haven't used them.
This is the first time I've used them. Yeah.
Right.
Technically, someone else has flying boots.
Are they?
I believe someone does. Yep.
Except mine
Oh,
was
was-
like coral.
Yes.
Cool. Cool.
Kobold
Yeah, I was planning
expression.
to actually. Yeah, I was planning to actually like shift these over to Hawks' boots, if that was an option. But that requires a long rest anyway. So
I've got magic boots. Oh my god, what happened to my leg?
Oh dear.
Guys, my leg is missing.
Oh, we have to help him.
Ow.
Quickly, Master Skunnock, Mr. Scales, quickly get up there.
that avarice person took it.
Oh, how could she?
Well, her name is Avarice.
After I knocked down that tower for her.
Yes. How could she indeed? Villain just kind of gives like a side eye to all of you.
It'll be fine.
Fox is having the time of his life messing with her right now.
She does not know what to make of it.
We'll fix you up, Pox. We'll fix you up. Just pat him on the non-existent leg.
Ting, 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 ting.
If you can replace this one, can you replace the other one too? It's starting to feel a little sore from all this walking.
That's a question for
It's like-
Skinnock.
Yep, a terrible gleam appears in Skunnock's eye.
Okay. You guys going up?
Yeah, I probably should.
So I think.
Oh, excuse me.
Let me see here. I need to move some stuff around. So at this point, Scales and Skunnock, you are both using your winged boots to fly up there, correct?
Yes.
Very well. Then I will say make perception checks as you're going up there.
Do I perceive?
Okay.
That would be a 16.
As you're getting up to the sides of the tower, you hear shuffling on the inside and the clanking of metal, as if blades are being drawn from their sheaths. And as you scamper up there, as the wings on both of your boots, each one floating in a very particular different way, yours, Scales, as the veiny, almost fin-like wings sprout from the corally boots and gently float upward. What do your boots look like, Skunnock?
I'm gonna say that there's like a bunch of gears and maybe some like these sort of like brass, almost bird wing shaped appendages stick out the sides, but they're like kind of dinged and dented a bit. And
Do they make horrendous noises as they like not loud?
oh,
noises,
just
but, like...
it's just this horrible grinding sound. It's bad.
Can you turn that off when you're like stealthing?
Yeah, it's not like overly loud, but like
feature-
it's like one of those things where
Feature,
like
not a bug.
it's one of those things where like listening to the inside of a clock and you can like hear like the gears going like grinding a little
Oh
bit.
yeah, no. There's like a little switch on the side, and throwing it makes them go dead silent. It's
It's a feature, not a bug.
It's purely
yeah, it
aesthetics.
is.
It's
It's
a
purely to
style,
annoy
David.
people. Yeah. How can I be steampunk if I'm not a little bit shitty?
Those are some words to live
That's
by.
a take.
What? I feel like that's part of the aesthetic.
I know.
No,
I
no,
think
I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just that was quite good. All right, so
We could just use the mechanical movement of this lever to move this thing into position. But what if pulling the lever instead filled a column of steam and used the pressure to do it? Thus introducing an area that it could potentially fail in catastrophically.
a capital idea. But what's more capital as I move you to a battle map? Which, of course, is done by the wonderful and talented Tessa Moorcroft over on DM's Guild. So as you float up to the top of this building, you see 6 of these heavily armored Magian, all with their swords drawn, not ready to attack you, but they are all huddled around this central piece in this very heavily lit tower. This huge anvil that's chiseled with vivid blue runes rests in the center of a 30-foot diameter, 30-foot high circular chamber. Resting atop it is a hammer adorned with matching runes. You can see, of course, these 6 armored figures that are guarding the anvil, but at the mouth of the chamber where you currently are standing, Skanuk, as you kind of float inward, you notice that there is a frozen corpse of a wizard lying in a pile of rubble. Everything in this room is lit with blue flames that flicker from braziers spaced around everything, illuminating a carved inscription on the ceiling. Which is a bit far away from you to read at the moment, but because you currently have a pressing matter of these Magian which are guarding the anvil, but I've not taken a hostile stance towards you as of yet.
Oh, that looks like a place for crafting some magics. Also, am I the only one seeing these like spectral fish creatures?
No, I see them.
Okay, good. I thought the fumes were getting to me. Again.
They are a bit difficult to notice, but there are wisps of this blue ethereal energy that slowly kind of wafts in and out of reality every moment. It's very subtle.
Is this the source of the horror that lurks beneath Dugan's hull?
The callback.
Never forget.
Never forget.
Never forgive.
Never forgive.
Okay.
One Chardalyn dragon was not enough.
If it had just stuck around there, it might have been. Alright, so.
But yes, what did the two of you do, as currently these Magian are heavily guarding this obviously magical anvil? They are not budging, but not taking action against you.
I guess first priority is getting the others up here, right?
I'd say so.
You guys see anything up there?
There's some dudes, but they don't look like they're doing anything at the moment. And there's an anvil that's very shiny. And there's some fish, I think.
You see one of the Magian. They all have their swords drawn, but one of them points the sword in your direction if you attempt to move closer.
Moving back.
Villain will shout
Where's
out.
the outside wall?
The outside wall is this black ring. This black ring right
This
here?
thick one?
Not these.
Oh.
These appear to be. It appears to be like in some sort of like roadway, essentially, or like a sidewalk, the edge of a sidewalk. And these central kind of like these pillars are. Well, they're not really pillars per se. They're more like very fancy braziers in a way. I would almost have them be akin to street lamps if they were the size of an oven and gaudy to boot, with a very deep indigo light emanating from them. Some of that wispy ethereal energy also seems to be coming off of them.
I see. So are these like these thick lines up here? Are those the line between like an elevated walkway and the
Correct.
solid ground beneath? Okay.
Yes, it appears to be so.
And then they can just walk in. Okay, that makes sense then. Well, getting Hawks up here is going to be a bit tricky, but I think we can do it. Oh, how far away?
I suppose Hawks could climb the tower from the outside.
Use his axe to like chop handholds in it.
That sounds like a dangerous idea on the observation tower.
It does. Now that I think about it.
You said there's something up there.
Yeah. There's like an anvil, and there's a bunch of those weird ghosty dudes hanging around it.
Do you have your clipboard?
I do. I don't think they're gonna fall for it.
Darn.
They don't seem quite as stupid as those gargoyles.
That is unfortunate.
Maybe they're just far more stupid.
The duo that were responsible for the clipboard are the ones with all the mobility to do it. Delivery.
They really are, because they have the winged boots. They're basically Amazon drones.
Oh my
It
god.
only gets better.
I need to make the
Hawks
homunculus now.
Hawks is the truck.
Yes, he's the truck.
It would have been the walrus, but right now the walrus is up above and Hawks is the nearest thing.
Oh my gosh. Okay, but it
Yeah,
does leave
you
a
got your
problem.
rope up there?
You can get free delivery with Kobolds on Prime.
What have we become?
You've become
A
magnificent,
spoof?
is what you've become. But what's more magnificent is how you're going to deal with these mages that are guarding this anvil.
You got any rope up there?
I have some.
How much?
100 feet.
I think that'll probably be enough.
Yeah, probably.
I mean, I could chop this tower down too.
Please don't.
I wouldn't recommend it. If there's something that magical in there, I don't. Please don't.
Right. Let's not.
What if the real magic is the friends we made along the way?
That's a different type of magic.
Villain pauses for a minute. I wouldn't be opposed
That's
to it.
that's the ninth school.
Yes, I believe that's the enchantment school of magic. Terrible joke. Don't make friends using enchantment magic, kids. It's not. It'll only lead to sadness and disappointment.
Why do
You
they
would-
have a
You
spell
would make
called friends though?
What was that, Hawks?
You would make fun of jokes about enchantment magic when I've been going through so much suffering recently because of it. How insensitive.
Isn't that how friends act when they're close? You make fun of each other?
Who are you again?
Never mind.
Well, catches on.
Forget if I said anything.
Meepo's like trying to decide whether this is an argument or like just friends being friendly and isn't sure what's going on and isn't sure how to deal with it. So she's like starting the pace at this point.
All right, so I'm gonna lower some rope down. Actually, wait. Is there anything I could tie this onto?
Actually, there is one of the one of these
there's a
smaller
skeleton?
braziers. Yeah, well, there's a skeleton, but that's not very secure. But there is some of those braziers actually look quite secure. They appear to be fastened magically to the wall, so you could tie it around that.
We'll start with that though. Though
Okay.
honestly, the idea of tying it to the skeleton and then just having them like they pull and the skeleton just comes flying down—that is very funny.
It is kind of funny, honestly.
It was a very Skunk joke to do, but I think we'll see.
All right, you do manage to tie the rope to one of those torch braziers. They don't react, although every time you get a little bit closer, they just kind of point out their swords a little bit more, but they don't do a whole lot. It seems their whole focus is just guarding this handful. And they seem I would say roll an insight check as well. 18. You notice they have particular interest not just towards you, but they look at the ground quite often as their gaze drifts down, because their focus is not solely on you, it seems, for some reason.
Interesting. Oh,
Is the rope down?
The rope at this point is down, yes.
Alright. I guess I'll go first. Climby, 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 climb.
Alright, you get there, and immediately a greatsword is pointed in your face.
I'm going to like scooch around the wall away.
Right?
yeah, they're kind of assholes like that.
Which seems to work, in fact, strangely enough. As you scoot around the outskirts, they kind of just point their swords, but don't do anything.
Can I see the inscription you mentioned earlier when they came in?
Sure, as you look up, now that you have a better kind of glance at on the inside, Scales was kind of a little bit more on the outside, so we couldn't get a good look. It will read thusly. Sorry. First, shield thy heart with a wand from the Nether Oak.
Well, we've got that.
I'll write that down as well.
I think it means use the shield spell. Villain, you might want to climb up here, but don't get too close to the middle.
All right. Okay. Just don't mind me. Just wandering around.
Yeah, don't mind them. They're cool.
I'll go towards this
Explicitly
window.
chill.
I'll go towards this window so I can look out and scout. Now, I'm noticing there's an awful lot of holes around here. Large holes.
We'll worry about that later. You see the ceiling up there?
Yes, I see it.
What do you think they mean by shield your heart?
Well, it could mean a couple of things. It could involve the shield spell, but it might be literal. It could just be as simple as crossing over one's heart as one would when making a promise. Crossing the wand over your chest.
Now what we should do is we should go back to that oak and tell him about this real annoying do-gooder named Avarice pretending to be a baddie.
Oh, that would be delightful.
I don't have the send in spell ready. I don't have the slots for it. But he wouldn't listen to me anyway.
Right, you are... No offense, Amiibo, but you are a bit of a do-gooder. Not that that's a bad thing, it's just...
That's not a defensive thing at all.
No, I'm just trying to... Never mind.
Ox will cast Reduce
Thanks.
to go down in size and try to climb up.
Alright. And you climb up, and there's a bit of hesitance, and immediate like there's like some of them kind of like almost look as if they're about to swing. They kind of, you notice Skunk in particular. You notice as they feel the weight of hawks against the tower, they immediately stiffen. There's no emotion in their faces, but you would almost, the body language makes you think, not quite fear, but as if preparing for something, as if it's like muscle memory, that they've experienced it before. But as they see hawks, they lessen in their grip, and they allow him to enter the tower as long as they don't get too close to the anvil in the center, which means you would probably have to go either up here or kind of down here.
What if I stay at the entrance right where I am?
And that is especially fine, and that will make have them at ease even more. Let me see here.
So,
yes?
anyone know what this anvil is?
Glowy.
Well,
Fancy.
my first guess would be to make things, but if I study the runes on it, let me take a moment. She'll kind of look at it. This will just have to be a bit of a cursory glance, and you can make an Arcana check as well, Skinnuk, because you're also proficient in the creation of magical items. Oh wow, she rolled really well. Okay. As both you and Berlin kind of start to look over the runes, you notice, interestingly enough, this is not an anvil that is meant to create. This is an anvil that is meant to destroy. And that is the purpose of this abjuration magic. To destroy magical items. I think we have what we came here for.
What's that?
That will help you with your crown problem.
What crown problem?
The crown... The deciphering your memories.
The problem with your head. She's talking about the problem with your head. She just
Oh,
used
you
the
mean
fancy
how big
word
it
for head.
is?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh. Okay.
The problem is we can't quite reach it until we take care of
Hey,
this retinue.
Hawks,
Yeah.
this is a stretch, but do you remember that one time that you happened to come off of a tower really fast?
Let me think.
With somebody else?
Got a vague recollection of maybe falling a whole bunch.
Right.
Are you saying that maybe I could come over here and make that happen again?
Except instead of you doing it, why don't you just make them have it happen to them?
Ah, good idea. Okay. Well,
Is that going to be an
Huxel.
initiative starter?
Yes,
We're
probably.
gonna pull an Arl here.
Oh boy, here we go.
Oh, well. I am here to heal you when you have been injured.
Alrighty. Let's get dangerous. Oh, okay, Velen. 19, I don't know what good it's going to do her with her low.
In retrospect, we should have done this when fewer of our casters were adjacent to the melee enemy.
Probably. That's fine. And for
Well, that's
reference, Velen's minion is down here. He is currently just off in the distance taking pot shots in the back, and that's how I'm going to flavor that.
Oh, also, we got your new skeleton.
Oh, goody! Let's worry about that a bit later. As currently, it is your turn, Scales.
It's a bit crushed.
And crushed in a way that reminds you of something, actually. It reminds you of those drow that you saw earlier.
Oh,
Indeed.
The ones outside of the
Oh,
building.
yes, outside the bridge.
The golem.
That strange creature. The mouth almost resembled, so kind of like how those mimics' mouths looked, but it was a humanoid form with that large hammer.
Oh, right.
Ah.
But right now it is Scales' turn.
Ah.
Okay, so I'm going to go here. So if those two want attack of opportunities on me, that's fine.
Very well. And they will attempt to do so with their great swords. With their stiff movements, they will attempt, almost like clay marionettes, will attempt to swipe at you. Wow, okay. That's a 20 and a 19.
Terrible. Deal.
Both hit.
Okay, well, that's gonna be... For the first one, that's going to be 8 points of slashing damage, and then 13 points of slashing damage for the second one, for a total of 21. Alright, so that was your movement. Okay. Which one do you command and what?
So I'm casting it as a 4th level spell. So I can target 3 additional creatures.
Okay.
I'm going to target the 4 furthest away from me.
The ones, including the ones that Hawks is planning to grapple?
Was he planning on grappling a couple?
Yes, he was. That's what initiated combat.
Ah.
You want to do the ones closest to you then?
Yeah, I'll do the 4 closest to me.
Very well. What is your command?
Flee.
Very fair. Where's their wisdom? That's just gonna be a straight d20. 1, 2, 3, 4. That is a failure on all counts.
Yep.
Let me see here. And what does their knees begin to kind of tremble as they will slowly start turning the other way. But they will flee on their turn.
And that is my turn.
Alright. Double check here, command.
Spends its turn moving away from you
Spends turn
as
moving.
fast as available means.
Indeed, I'm just double checking to see. Okay, so allies can still attack it. Okay, good. With that. Velen is actually going to hold her action for a chill touch when one of them is out of her range. Because right now it's not going to do her much good. She is going to hold her action. Which means, Kanaka, it is your turn.
Well, let's see. I'm gonna go over here, I guess. Here, maybe
Very well.
somewhere there. And then I'm going to hold my action to anything that like tries to run by me. I'm going to try and shove over the edge.
Okay.
Or trip, as the case may be.
No. I like the flavor of both. Each one is good. However you decide to do it, which in this case
Right.
will be right now.
Slinks around the corner, just sticks his tail out around the edge.
Hey, go ahead and make an athletics check for me, as this one mage right here is like right next to the edge.
Okay. I have no bonus to athletics.
That's okay. They have a small bonus themselves, so let's see.
Flash of Titans.
Okay, so it's a tie. That means there is no change, unfortunately.
Hawks is just being fed this stream of things to throw off the tower now.
Indeed, they do. So
God damn, held actions are
And Skynock
reactions.
is help.
yeah. So they can't be suicidal with this. They will simply run like right next to the edge, and then these two are right here. Will just kind of swarm in, because you think that they believe this is some sort of pincer maneuvers, as they will both attack Hawks. For
Not wrong.
22 and a 7.
22 does beat my AC.
Okay, so you will take 9 points of slashing damage, and that is the mage's turn.
Kind of want Shield of Faith.
With that, though, Hawks Hagnar, it is your turn.
I'm gonna look at the ones that are not as panicked first, the ones that tried to attack me, and so I'm going to take an attack action, and I'm going to throw as many grapples as I'm allowed to in this.
All right, so that would be 2, 1 for each hand.
So first one,
All right.
I am not technically under Giant's Might, so I don't get advantage on this, unfortunately.
A 19, but
Do you
you
get
still
advantage
beat
from
it.
being a size category larger?
That's a good question.
Possibly?
Double checking. Grapple D&D 5e. Double checking the rules.
Might be if it's 2 size categories larger, but I'm not sure.
How do you pick that up? Target must not be no longer the.
Grapple. Where is the rule? Rules, everyone. Just looking.
It does not seem to be the case.
Must be no more than one size larger, and must be within your reach using these.
That's what it's for. You just can't grapple someone that's 2 sizes larger than you, that's all.
Normally I would have advantage on athletics if I had Giant's Might active, just because it's a strength check, but I do not in this case.
That's okay, because you
But I
still beat
still-
the first one.
Okay, and then I will move him off the edge and let go.
Which is, let's say a good 40 feet up. So that's gonna be 46. Takes 11 points of falling damage.
Then I will attempt to grab the second one.
Yeah, he also falls prone because of that. Alright, so you will beat that as well with a soft 20. For another 4d6 points of falling damage, which is even better. Wow. That's a lot of damage.
And then on a bonus action on my turn, if I take the attack action, I can make a shove with my shield. So I'm just gonna
Yes.
maybe slide in here and be looking at this guy right here.
Okay, so that's gonna be another. Athletics check. What's a natural 20 though? Unfortunate. It seems like this one manages to stabilize itself against a wall, but the other two just go splat against the ground and fall prone.
Okay. That is my turn.
Alright, Meepo, that means it is your turn.
Who's got the delivery?
Delivery?
The hat box.
I do.
Alright, we're gonna need to get you in towards the middle there. So, I'm going to...
Oh, which reminds me, Valen's held action would have gone off, so you go ahead and do
Yeah.
that, and I'll just do this. So go ahead and do what you're gonna do. I'm just gonna roll something quickly on the side.
I think I'm going to do this. And, bonus action, do the, sonar extra AC. And move over to, this side here.
Okay.
And then action cast resistance, just in case.
Very well. as you lay upon yourself this protective aura, you will hear the very familiar and often missed sigh of the mummified elf Sonar, and that scent of wafting in a pumpkin spice drifts throughout the area. You have the +1 to AC, and you have enemies have disadvantage to hit you for this round, or until the start of your next turn, I should say.
Right.
All right. If that is your turn, that means the scales back up again at the top of the turn order.
I will. In lieu of saving spell slots for other things, possibly.
Fair enough. Who do you target? All right. Very well. Then roll to hit. Oh, well, that'll definitely hit. And it is still up, but looking pretty darn hurt.
I technically would have had advantage on it, but it's not a critical hit, so.
Fair enough. At 16, still counts, though. Alrighty. Is that your turn?
Yes.
Very well. It is now back to Evelyn's turn. In the interest of saving spell slots, she is also going to cast Chill Touch again. Seems to have been working so far. A 23. Oh, wow, she's rolling pretty well for these. That's going to be another 2d8 points of damage, which actually manages to take down this maiden as it flashes and erupts in a smoky plume of fiery mercury as it disappears, leaving only its armor and weapons behind. I did it! As she looks towards the others, oh dear. She's comfortable where she is, so that means it's going to be your turn now, Skanak.
Well, I think I'm going to take a step back, or, equivalent in flying terms. I'm just going to draw him on. Rehealed it. I'm just going to draw him on this guy directly below me and shoot him in the face.
Alright, now if you do move out of the way, you will get an attack of opportunity from this boy right here.
Yep.
Fair enough.
Go ahead and try.
He can try, however, he will fail.
No. Not today.
Not today. Let me remove these command markers on them since it's
Boltzmann. So a fire.
Now he
Did I
is
say
prone.
20?
He is prone if that affects your decision.
Oh no, not this one down here. This one.
Oh, that one. Okay, yes. Okay, so yeah, 23 will definitely hit though.
That would be
Owie!
24 fire damage.
24 points of fire damage. He's not dead, but my gosh, is he close? There seems to be a lot of that going on this game.
We did heal Hawks, right?
You did. He got hit again though.
Okay, good. I was just trying to remember. Like, wait, we did do that.
Oh, you did.
Good. Okay.
Is that your turn though? Or would you like to do anything else?
Just gonna, buzz around annoyingly over here.
And then the sound of that creaking
Just
of the wings.
Yep, just the world's largest mosquito, but with its muffler removed.
Oh man.
That's a mental image and sound. Oh gosh. With that though, it is the Magian's turns. These are going to stand up using half their movement. They're going to attempt to climb the rope. However, they used up a lot of movement already, so they don't really get high off the ground. So they're kind of stuck down there. These three up here. You said you still have Sanctuary up, Meepo?
Nope.
Oh, you don't? Okay.
But I have Snar's thing, which gives him disadvantage to hit me.
Gotcha, okay. In that case, this one right here is going to come up and try and swing at you. Does a 15 hit you?
He would have disadvantage, right?
Yes, he would. I'm very dumb. Does a 7 hit you? The answer is no.
It does not. What's the disadvantage from?
Your Sonar thing, because I was just reminded.
Oh, right, yeah.
Text to hit you from my own ability that I made that I forgot.
And I just reminded you that they had disadvantage, and then I forgot.
Exactly, because memory just seems to be all around the place today.
That crown needs to be destroyed.
Yeah, that
Okay,
crown
let's
is a
go.
menace. It needs to go. In any case, 2 swings against you, Huck, because you're right there. However, none of them will hit. So, if we're on the topic of you, Hawks, it's your turn.
That was fun the first time. I'm going to do a grapple against him, a grapple against him, and maybe a shove somewhere. No, I'll grapple him, and then I can move him all the way over and throw him. Yes, so it'll be these two, and then I'll attempt to shove here. And really, I could be actually throwing an attack somewhere in here, but let's be honest.
So are we going from top to bottom?
I'm doing him first.
Him first? Alright. Unfortunate. He does manage to beat it. Second one. A 5.
21.
Okay, you get him.
Off the edge he goes. And this guy who avoided my grapple the first time, I'm going to put a shield in his face and try and shove him.
No, I think he was Evan, I think he was throwing the one that was next to me.
Oh, next to you?
The second one.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
I misunderstood. My
So you
apologies.
move it across.
Let me just, there we go. I misunderstood. My apologies.
This guy who avoided the first one, he's getting shielded.
Oh yeah, no, not even a nat 20 is gonna save him with the bonuses. He gets plopped right off, yeeted off. You just hear a solid "koom" like a volleyball hitting someone's forehead, and he gets pushed off the side.
My tower.
Gets 10 points of damage, and they are all knocked prone.
Did we name this one yet? Because we should call it Kobolds Tower Defense.
We did name this one, but I can change the name of it on the YouTube if we so desire. I can do that.
But technically, Hawks gets a third attack as part of his multi-attack action. He will use that third attack to dab, having thrown everyone else off the tower, except the one guy who's...
Do you want to use it to dab, or do you want him to attack him?
I had to have my hands freeze to do it, so if I was going to attack him, it would be a punch. So I think I'm just going to dab.
Alright.
Yeah.
You dab.
It does almost as much damage.
It's emotional damage. With that in mind, Meepo, it's your turn now.
As he's dabbing, I'm going to touch him and cure wounds on him because I think he's a little bit injured still, right?
I'm very injured, yes.
Yeah. So there we go.
Alright, go ahead and roll your healing.
We just forgot the Hawks to full.
He's just so big, he doesn't seem like he needs healing.
I'm loving these healing rolls. It's kind of making up for all the minimum ones you rolled. It was very bad luck before,
Yeah.
but now you're getting some big
Right
rolls.
when it made it dramatic, I rolled minimum, but when I just need to make sure he's still alive.
Exactly. Sometimes it's how the dice roll.
And that's an action. So bonus action, I don't think I have anything, so I'm just going to, I guess, climb onto the anvil over here.
Okay.
No, I'm gonna climb under the anvil and kind of duck behind it.
Okay, fair enough. You kind of clamber down behind it. There's no space underneath it directly, but under the one kind of jutting angle of the anvil, you
Right.
can kind of scamper under there a little bit.
Right, that's what I mean.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. In that case, Scale, it is back to you. Another round.
Same song, second verse.
All right.
A little bit faster. Here comes the hearse.
Let's
that's
see.
good.
Oh,
You made me like
fireball.
it.
Oh, with that'll definitely hit for 16 points of fire damage. As the fire hits its skin, it boils and bubbles, and then turns into smoke. killing it entirely. As its skin disappears, the body disappears, leaving just the armor and equipment behind. I believe this guy is also hiding.
That's it, folks.
Alright. This in mind, villain is just kind of peer over the hole over here. Well, it's a bit disadvantagey for my taste, but I'll try anyway. Fortunately not for her. Drat! She will go behind the wall. Skanuk.
Where is the top of the rope again?
The top of the rope is, I'd say, like right in this square right here, next to Hogs.
Okay. I'm gonna fly up next to the top of the rope, and then I'm gonna hold my action to cut it when the top Magian is within 10. It gets to 10 feet away from the top. But I wanna hold my action so they get as high as possible, and then
Okay.
you know, just before they could leap and catch the edge, just drop them.
Gotcha.
laugh.
So, which means it is now their turn. Any of them that were prone get up from being prone, and the two that were trying to climb the rope or continue climbing the rope. Meaning that I'd say they use their dash action to try and get up there, which means at the top one is like right about to get to you, Skanuk, at 40 feet high up. Which means choppy.
Choppy. See, do I need to make an attack roll for this?
I do believe so. I believe it's hempen rope. I believe it does have a set AC, but since it's let's see here, it has 2 hit points. So
2 hit points.
see, you can make an attack.
Okay, well, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm not gonna switch out to whichever one. I'm just gonna firebolt it. 28 to hit. Dealing.
Oh yeah. As long as it's not one, the fire burns the rope. You hit it with a loud snap as the fire kind of shrinks down into the single cord, which then snaps, making all the Magian fall to their doom once more. I'm just gonna, even though they're technically some of them are a bit lower down, I'm just gonna roll the same falling damage. 14 points of damage.
Perfectly balanced.
Perfectly balanced, as all things should be. This one, right here, as it hits the ground, you hear a solid crunching sound as it erupts into a bout of mercurial flame. The rest of them are still alive. Technically, actually, wait, no. This one is also dead. And this one is barely alive. However, now they have no way of getting back up to the top of the tower.
So suck. Initiate the gun line.
Indeed. So, speaking of gun lines, Hawks.
They're kind of down there. They're kind of up here.
Indeed. How does one rectify this situation?
Considering that Hawks is like actively a living shitpost at this point, between multiple curses and stuff, Hawks is going to move up to the edge over here and activate something he has used only once so far and has had for a long while.
Yeah.
And he is going to cause a magical snowball to appear in his hand, and he is going to chuck it down at this guy.
Okay.
My proficient, it's
a magic
thrown...
ranged weapon which you're proficient. So it'll be a dexterity. Actually, technically, thrown weapons can be strength if need be.
You're just throwing it with all your might.
Tell you what,
I'm gonna use...
you can roll a javelin because it'll be the same bonus, even though the damage will be different.
20.
20. So roll 1d4 points of cold damage. Guess how many hit points it had left?
It had 4.
It had 4 hit points left.
Makes me think of back when people actually played Overwatch. The maze snowball fight. I put a rock in that one.
And indeed,
Okay.
you with a solid clang, you actually watch as a rock appears from the inside of the snowball and clangs the metal as it scatters against the scatters against the armor of the creature. When it then disappears in another burst of mercurial flame and smoke, it disappears. I cannot believe you got a kill with the snowball charm.
I'm so glad.
Yep.
Oh, that's so good. I love it. Alright, is that your turn, or is there,
Yep, that's all I'm doing.
Perfect. Meepo.
Are we done with them, or are there any? Oh, there's one there.
There's just the one, and it's just kind of looking up hopelessly, even though it's
Well.
showing no emotion, because it can't really get back up there.
I'm gonna kind of look around at the others. I think Sonar's been around for this fight, so I think I might call his sister. Anybody opposed to that?
That will be your last usage for the day, I believe.
It will be. Yeah, I've been keeping track. Well, then I guess. Zalaria, can you pick that guy off for us?
You see a shining light appear beside you. As the form of Sonar's sister Zalaria appears before you, she will draw that spectral longbow with a very tight string and release the bow. Go ahead and roll with a plus 5 to hit.
+5. Right. This is Zalaria, not Meepo rolling. Ah, I rolled a natural one.
Unfortunate. The light scatters and breaks apart as it hits the creature, leading Zalaria to kind of like facepalm herself and just kind of shrug, saying as if to say sorry, and then
I just kind of like pat her shoulder as she fades away.
She
Well.
has a bit of a pout as she does so.
It's alright. I'll give you plenty of other chances later.
It's like the end of Terminator. There's just a single thumbs up that disappears as she goes with it.
And that was action or bonus action?
That's a bonus
Bonus
action.
I guess I'm gonna move over here and just interact with objects, see if I can do anything to activate this, so that we can have it set up for once the combat's done.
Sure. Currently, the only thing that is on the anvil is a hammer that is inlaid with a similar set of runes.
I guess I'll just pick up the hammer as my action.
Alright, you pick it up. Surprisingly lightweight despite its size in your hands, and it has a bit of a cold touch to it. You might think that's partially because of the frigid environment, but it might be from the item itself. Hard to say.
I will get ready to hand it over to Skanuk, who I'm sure will know how to use it better than I.
Very well. That means, top of the turn order again. Take back to you, Scales. The only enemy is off the side over here.
I'm gonna lay down and I guess twiddle my thumbs, because we're just waiting for something.
Alright, so you'll just kind of chill back and relax. Very well.
I'll take the dodge action.
Dodge action. Okay. Suitable. Alright, in that case, it'll be Valin's turn. She'll kind of look over her shoulder at you, Scales, and then kind of like, fair enough. I already took out one. Let's see if I can take out another. She will try disadvantage. Actually, no, not with disadvantage. She'll try to knock down this one. The 13, again, unfortunately, she misses. Darn, I guess.
Don't forget your minion.
That's true. Minion, fire when ready. Again, the minion does manage to hit the target for 6. How much? Let's see. How much health did it have left? That's good. Yeah, that's good stuff. Good stuff. Good stuff. You watch as Velen shouts out to fire to her minion. You see the skeleton of the mage is just kind of off to the side, like behind one of those oven-sized braziers. It just kind of like peers out from the side and just slowly but surely cocks the crossbow slowly and then aims. Pew! Hits it right in the back of the skull. And as it does so, erupts into a burst of fiery mercurial flame, and thus is also destroyed. Meaning, combat comes to a close once more. I think that's another kill for the skeleton.
And Velen got 2 kills in this combat.
Indeed.
She's being useful.
She's being useful.
Skanuk, you wanna get out the fancy hat? Hey, Hawks, why don't you go down below and kind of clean up those bodies? Just make sure there's nothing down there coming up to get us.
So as you're shouting out that, Meepo, you hear a voice inside your head. And it seems to be coming from the anvil. You hear this. Bring me your items of power, and together we shall destroy them.
All in good time.
Yeah, so Hawks doesn't really have a rope to climb down on, but he goes right over the edge.
Oh.
You will take some fall damage.
Yep.
You're going to take 10 points of falling damage.
Okay. He should still be alive.
Yep. And Hawks is going to... I guess there's not really bodies down here, but there is whatever...
Armor or whatever.
Yeah, there's the equipment. Yeah, they're, I specifically, let me double check and see what specific kind of. I believe it's chainmail, and they do have great swords. And they do actually have light crossbows as well, which they had not been utilizing.
Just pick up the crossbow bolts for Villain's mook.
Alright, is there... How complete is their chainmail? Like, is it a full suit? Do they have, like, chainmail leggings as well?
It is a full suit of chain, yes. It is complete.
Okay, Hawks will pull out his bench that he stole from the museum, line it up, and begin arranging the chainmail on it like they're sitting in it. And that is what he will spend his time doing down here.
Very well.
That's fair.
And Villain will say, Minion, kind of snaps her fingers, help him please. And then the skeleton will come over and help you, will help assist you in setting up this display.
Here, maybe if we tuck this crossbow under the chest piece here and fit it into the arms, it'll make it look like it's sitting up a little bit better. Yeah, just like that.
Skeleton voicelessly acquiesces to your request and holds it up just so, creaking all the while and rattling. Meanwhile, up in the tower, you hear that voice inside your head again, Meepo.
Skanuk, the hammer talks to you, so here you go.
Oh, is it cursed?
I
As
don't
he
know.
is already taking the hammer.
Strike the hole. The voice becomes muffled as you hand it off. But you now hear, in the middle of that, your items of power, and together we shall destroy them.
Any items in particular?
A magical item?
Okay, I'm going to bring out the. I'm going to reach into my bag of holding and bring out the crown, which is still wrapped up, and then kind of unwrap it onto the anvil, I guess.
I'm gonna step back here.
How about that?
Normally, for such things, no. However, this was created nearby, and thus, therefore, meets more of my specifications. Therefore, yes, it can be destroyed here, should you desire.
Yep.
But we will warn you, this was specially made for Master Elvira, and thus you will probably draw her ire if you do not have her express permission.
Not only is she dead, I think her last words were asking us to destroy this because it's broken.
There's a moment of pause. To destroy a magical item, strike the anvil 3 times.
Mm-hmm.
Place it upon
Okay.
the anvil, and strike. Strike.
Right.
Strike.
All right. So I'm gonna take the hammer in like a 2-handed grip and wind back way too far, and then just go for like praised full body swings that sort of lift him off the ground a bit.
Yes, excellent form. Strike. 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 Clang. Clang. Clang.
It's like someone trying to hit a mouse with a golf club in a cartoon.
An even
That's-
better
that's-
visual.
That's the image in my mind. Just
You're Tom. This is Jerry, and you've got the big
Yep.
mallet.
Exactly. With that in mind, as you place the crown down, you kind of clang, clang, and on the third strike, there's a moment of pause where time seems to slow, and as the hammer, you bring it down for the third strike, there is a flash of blue light that fills the entirety of the space, and the crown will almost condense into a single solid sphere, and then will vanish. I also need to roll something. Okay. You feel there is a slight rumbling for a second, and then nothing happens. But the crown is gone. And with that, Hawks, as you're now in the midst of placing a second set of chain on this same chair with another one. Currently, you're kind of getting to a nice comfy pose where their arms are kind of draped like alongside each other's shoulders, and kind of like a nice camaraderie pose. But then suddenly, like someone just smacked you in the back of your skull. All your memories come rushing back, and you remember everything. Let me double check something as well.
Ox is going to turn to the skeleton and out loud say, like, I wonder how long I can get away with pretending like I still don't remember anything for.
I'm gonna like walk towards the edge and double check to see what Hawks is up to. Hawks, how you doing down there?
Oh man, the tower's talking to me!
I still can't tell what's going on with him.
As you start having your memories being flooded back to you, bit by bit, Hawks, your brain is suddenly assailed by images that are unfamiliar to you. And then you realize these are the memories that were most likely belonged to Elvira and some of her, either her last moments or moments throughout her life. And I get to roll on a table, which I love doing.
Your favorite thing.
My favorite one.
Which is why I think someday you should play a Wild Magic Sorcerer, because then you just get to roll on tables just for playing.
I really should. What was that, Caleb?
Rolls a blizzard.
Oh, help me!
Yes, that's suddenly the glacier springs forth a magical blizzard, and all of you roll Constitution. No, let me double see. Let me check here though. Let's see here.
That was a spicy.
Okay, now that I have this, trying to figure out how to use it all together. a few memories begin flooding in. The first of which appears to be a vision of the past seen through Elvira's eyes. You see her standing next to someone a little bit taller than her, bald of head, but a very long, kind of like wispy, trimmed beard. Very fancy robes. There's a conversation going on, but it is muffled, and the memory is sort of stifled. You can't understand what they're saying or read their lips. It seems to be discussing some sort of construction. As you can see, the elderly mage, whose image you now recognize as Ariel Larthus, from the stained glass image you had seen in the museum. You see him pointing out towards a budding cityscape that is currently under construction. And you watch as he kind of flicks his wrists. It's as if the very stone itself moves at his command. And you see some of those mimics start to move around and assist in the construction. You see him give like a very sly smile and kind of looks towards your, or in this case, Elvira's memory's direction. And the memory kind of fades. And then another memory comes to pass. You will see a memory of Elvira most likely as an older woman at this point in time. You will see her coming through the Arboretum alongside Ariel Arthas. Currently they are watching some apprentices taking their wands from the Nether Oak. And you assume he is peddling promises of power and inspiration towards these youths. But of course you will see a smiling, kind of laughing interaction between Ariel Larthus and Elvira. Surprisingly wholesome moment between these two. That memory begins to fade. Then another one pops in. Elvira and some other, you assume some of the other apprentice mages, are currently at a performance of some kind. Unlike before, where you could not read the conversation, bits of it seems to come into your mind. It's muffled, but there are words that you pick out. And what of the spindle? Has it been recovered? Elvira will say. You see one of the other mages respond to her. That it has. We merely need to transport the spindle into the city, and we will test its capabilities forthwith. For a giant artifact of Astoria, it's not as impressive in appearance as we had hoped. But perhaps experiments will yield some interesting results. It seems to have some capabilities regarding magic. It seems to resist lower-level spells. But we will see what happens when we prod it and poke it a little bit. And as their conversation continues, the orchestrated performance brings out to a loud crescendo, and you'll see Ariel Larthus' form walk up to the two of them, to all the other apprentices, and he has a very stern look on his face. And then that memory begins to fade. Let me see here.
Spindle.
Indeed.
It's an artifact.
One last memory. One final memory. As these assaulting barrage of mental energy hits its, I would say crescendo, but that seems, I wouldn't like to repeat using words. It reaches its the apex of the psionic energy as you feel almost like your brain is about to burst. You watch as a group of mages is surrounding what appears to be a large, almost needle-like object. It is extremely tall, perhaps around, I'd say, I don't know, 20 or so feet high. Not as large as the obelisk. But it is reverberating with a strange hum to it. And Avira kind of watches this from a distance, alongside the other mages and Ariolathus.
I'm supposing I can assume that this is the spindle.
You might assume so. Ariolathus will lift his bony skeleton hand. As you see, there is a large change to Ariolathus. It seems to have undergone some form of transformation to what you assume was described before to you as Littstrom. As you see, he is extremely... not quite skeletal exactly, but it's almost as if he is under the advanced stages of some sort of just loss of muscle and atrophy, but he is moving his limbs almost as spryly as if he were a young lad. But he lifts up a skeletal hand, and the mages surrounding this spindle begin to start casting spells. And then Ariolathus himself will begin to add his own power to the ritual. And suddenly, it's as if the very air within the chamber begins to rupture. Everything begins to shake. As wispy blue, almost fish-like energy begins to wrap around the spindle. And something with a loud flash of white light. The city suddenly begins to shake. As Avira's vision looks out the window of this tower that they were in, you see the city begin to plummet downward towards the Reggae Glacier. And that is where the vision ends. And you're brought back to it, Hawks. All your memories are intact, and the new ones added to it.
Interesting.
As that's happening to him, and I'm like peeking out to see how he's doing, do I like see any physical change in him, or does it just look like he's like still?
It seems like he's just having a very painful migraine from the way his kind of like his head muscles are kind of twitching. But other than that, he seems okay.
Hawk? You alright?
I think so.
That's a good sign. Recognizes his name.
I mean, what's a name?
It didn't work. Villain will kind of peer out the window.
No,
Well, I don't
I don't remember anything about. I don't know.
Roll a deception check this time.
I'm just gonna pretend like I believe him.
Yep, same.
Well, we'll figure something out.
How could this happen? I don't know anything about. Who is that? Is that a wizard? Wow, what a wizard!
You'll see she almost begins to believe you, but then she squints her eyes. Oh, fuck off, you bastard.
I think he took what you said to heart.
I hate all of you. And she'll just kind of like look towards the window. But you can see, Meepo, there is a slight smile she's trying to prevent from crawling onto her face.
I'm just going to turn away and not look, so she can smile if she wants. It's healthy.
She kind of like looks out the window, kind of like puffing her chest out a little bit. She kind of looks towards your direction, Scales.
She does the anime cheek pouch thing.
Yeah, a little bit. A little bit, yeah. What's wrong, Mr. Scales?
You hate all of us.
No, I was.
Being
Oh
sarcastic.
no, I was being sarcastic. I didn't act. I thought we were friends. Isn't that what friends do? They make fun of each other. Wait, no, Mr. Scales.
I don't know if... I think we're all friends here. I think it's okay. Because if we're... Remember, we've got to be at peace with each other, otherwise my abilities aren't helpful.
What's a friend?
Alright, I've had it about up to here with you. She kind of points a finger at you, Hux, which lets Scales grin secretly at his deception. At his ruse.
Meepo's like starting to sweat, going, "What if my powers stop working?"
You look down, you
Don't
suddenly,
do that.
you,
Just
suddenly
walks
see,
away.
you suddenly see a crack in your holy symbol, Meepo.
No!
And then it heals itself.
Aldaf joining in.
Fox holds up his hand to his own large height, and it's like, "Don't you mean up to here?"
Alright,
Well, you're further down there.
I think that's enough silliness for one day. I think we all need to sleep. I think we're all beginning to lose it.
That might be true. I think
So,
I'm gonna try something in the morning anyway. Once I got my spells back.
So, hammer, talking hammer fellow.
Yes. Do you wish to
Is
destroy
there-
more magical items?
Well, actually, I was thinking, is there a way to perhaps move this apparatus?
No.
I see. Well, in that case, I'm gonna have to. I guess I'll just have to come back if I find anything else to destroy.
Yes.
Are you talking to the hammer?
Yes.
Okay. Do we have anything else? We need to destroy something we didn't want.
Well, we did that. Was there something else? You got any chartling bits around? I could probably get rid of those now.
There
Fox
was
will
that,
hold up the spiked gauntlet.
there's a spike gauntlet. There was also that Charlton staff, I believe that one wizard had, to my knowledge. There's also that ring that looked like a ram, I believe was made of Charlton.
Right?
Yep, line them up.
Ping, ping, ping. Just chunking them out.
Alright, which one are you doing first?
Let's go with the gauntlets
Gauntlet. Okay, cool.
to see if it works.
Alright.
With a non-magical item? Question mark.
Technically it's non-magic. Well, Charlton has a weird kind of property to it. It's technically kind of magical, but without having like any magical properties. It's kind of weird.
It's not like it's a necromancy magic.
Yeah, it's more like
just-
the material
it's
itself.
magical.
Yeah, it's like the material
Material.
itself is like predisposed to either gaining some sort of like extraplanar like sort of energy to it, such as like either like a fiendish nature, or it could be suffused with positive energy. It's a weird kind of material, which technically it's suffused with negative energy right now. So it does technically account for the purposes of this. And then we'll respond back to you. Not usually my sort of thing, but it is doable. So therefore, I believe ting ting ting.
Bang, bang, bang. More banging. More violence.
Okay.
Get rid of the curse
Violence
gauntlet.
against objects is still violence.
Indeed.
What is this 1d100 you're rolling? Is
Don't
there
worry.
something I should be concerned about?
Well, the ground has begun to rumble a little bit.
Hey, you
Oh,
rolled a 100, not a D100.
Oh, did I? Oh, never mind then.
woo!
Okay. The
That's a
ground
little
has
bit
begun
nice.
to rumble a little bit, but nothing seems to happen again. There seems to be like a disturbance outside the tower when you destroy an item, but nothing seems to be coming out of it. But the gauntlet is destroyed.
See. What is that? What is that rumbling? Do you know what that is?
No idea. But I remember feeling rumbling before my master was killed.
Slowly turns to the skeleton.
I was
With the
created to
crushed
destroy,
skull.
not to think.
Right. Tell you what. I think I'm gonna have to come back when I'm more able to deal with whatever killed your master then.
Very well, up to you. But until then, I will wait to destroy once more.
Right? All right. Have a good one. Set
You
the hammer
too.
down. Run away.
Have a good one.
Please.
Catch you later.
So, what's that about?
So apparently, the last time the hammer heard the rumbling, its master died. It doesn't know why because it doesn't really care. But that guy there died kind of like the dark elves that were around that weird golem thing.
Right. That could be a problem.
So, I think we could probably take one of those, but I'd rather do that after the long rest.
Indeed.
Just a nice long nap. We can give Hawk some boots of flying.
I agree. Let's get out of here, and she'll kind of like. Oh wait, there's no rope here.
Ah, yes. I will retrieve the rope.
Ah, excellent. And then with the rope retrieved, you'll retie it around one of those braziers, and leaving everyone able to climb down. So, with that in mind, you guys begin the trek back. And as you do so, hey Hawks, how high are you right now? Like, what's your height currently?
No, it's hi. How are you?
Shush.
I'm currently 18 feet 9 inches.
18 feet. Let's see. You gain another foot.
19 feet 9 inches. What is my weight looking like at this point?
What was your weight originally?
65.
There's a specific portion of this, I believe. Enlarge. Let me double check the enlarge spell. That will help me determine what to do here.
While you're doing that, do we safely get back to that ice shelf where we can start doing rest stuff?
I'll figure that out in a moment.
Okay.
I was gonna ask, since this is not exactly the enlarge reduce spell affecting me, is there advice there on what the weight should be?
I have to double check. It might have said. It says you become proportionally heavier, is what the wording is, which is kind of vague. But considering, let's just say like so. What you started at what, like 3'9"?
Something like that, yeah.
3'9". Or was it? No, it was 3'9". So in that case, you would have gained.
So then, like the BMI, and then you.
Well, I'm not gonna do the whole BMI thing. Just do your weight times 16, and then that's your current weight. That's how I'm just gonna roll it for simplified purposes. And that's what I'll do. In the meantime,
Yeah, that does mean that I'm 1,040 pounds.
That means that most spells that have to do with weight can't be used on him.
aha, excellent. So as you're scampering through to the ice bridge, you'll see more of those Nothics hanging around, but they're at a distance from you. It seems that they're kind of like just sort of watching you go. Those eyes are just staring out at the different buildings as you walk along. Not interacting, not saying anything, just watching. Dozens of them. Almost as if expecting and waiting for you to return as you exit the city onto the ice bridge. And with that, you managed to make it out here all the way. You guys can start taking your long rest.
Okay, so I get back my divine intervention.
Guess I should remove my chair from the inventory as well, since I left that behind with a bunch of suits
Oh.
of armor on it.
I still had channel divinity, by the way, guys, so we were okay. I could still use that to heal you.
The Hoxaphant. The Hoxaphant.
The aid spell is no longer affecting you, so if you had extra health from that, that's gone.
I'll maybe mark that down somehow. I already have.
And with that, as you start taking that rest, hey Hox, you reach your maximum height. So let's see here. Portion two. Okay. So here's So sorry for making you do all the math. There is actually a maximum weight. You are now your maximum height is now 21 feet tall. You weigh 7,700 pounds, and your total strength score is 23.
Does he get to the maximum weight automatically, or does he?
Because there is a set height for this effect, and it has a set weight at the end of it. It's said to become proportionally heavier until you reach this maximum, which I missed the first time.
Right. Okay.
Proportionally heavier. So not just.
Wait, what's the maximum weight?
7,700 pounds is the maximum.
So just under elephants. Like hippo weight, actually.
And then if I enlarge,
if you're doubling in height, then you would be something like. Oh god.
You're still considered huge.
1,500 pounds. Almost.
61,000 pounds?
Oh my.
Because of the square cube law means that your weight mass goes up by 8.
Yeah,
Oof.
61,600 pounds.
Oof.
then I would be a double in height then, right? As well. So it'd be like
You would be
40,
twice as
42.
42 feet tall, yeah.
And if you were going by real world mechanics, you would be 4 times as strong. But obviously
Magic's weird, yo.
not. Yeah.
Magic don't pertain to real world physics. It's the world of non-Euclidean geometry and nonsense.
We're in a 2D plane anyway. Look, it's all flat.
That's true. So really your weight only increases by 4 times.
Weird.
Okay.
D&D math.
But
Okay.
with that, you all gain all your HP back. You all gain all your resources back. And as long as you're outside of the city, its weird effects do not affect you.
No.
So no con saves.
Alright. Good. The next morning, I'm going to wake up, and upon realizing that we're not feeling clammy or gross or anything, I'm going to cast Greater Restoration on Hawks to see if I can clear his head a little bit.
Didn't we fix that by destroying the thing?
Ah, no, we fixed one thing. He had
Oh,
two.
right, you mean the other thing.
Yes.
The madness.
He's been a little bit off for a while now, and I'm just starting to realize it, I think, at this point, because it's become a little bit more than just Hawks being goofy. It's been Hawks being, okay, this is serious, and you're really not even worried about it.
So that would remove my
Remove.
flaw of I can't take anything seriously. The more
Right.
serious the situation, the funnier I find it.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And having just kind of been knocked out of that, Hawks was going to take a long moment of silence for himself to think on some things.
And then I'm also going to use. How long does this last?
I'm feeling a little bit more like myself now.
I don't know.
Man, I have been out of it since before even we took down the Frost Maiden.
Really? I couldn't tell. Villain will kind of wryly say with a slight smile.
Well, I mean, I'm pretty relaxed anyway, I think, but don't you think that was a bit much?
Right. I think he's gonna be a little bit less goofy and chummy than he was. So you're welcome to be goofy and chummy if you want to be, but just a forewarning.
Alright, just thinking that my priorities were kind of all over the place, you know?
Right.
Listen, I don't know what you guys know about giants. I mean, like stone giants specifically.
Not much.
You know, they got all sorts of traditions about what it means to be on the surface, away from caves, away from the underground. And I feel like I got kind of that, there's a certain kind of insanity that hits them. And it kind of feels like I might have been under it.
Huh.
It's,
Maybe
something...
the giant magic does something.
I don't know. I don't know. But it's something my old mentor was afflicted with pretty badly. It's the only reason he really was willing to take me on. Uh, huh. I got some thinking to do, I guess.
Villain will
Anywho,
kind of-
what's the plan for today? We might as well get some work done while our heads are clear, right?
Is anybody seen a 5 foot tall murder bird?
Muerte Blanca. Muerte Blanca running through the snow. Muerte Blanca seeking out her foe. With the flash
I
of
think I
her
hear her
beak,
coming.
her claws like a streak. Muerte Blanca, Muerte Blanca. Do, 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 do. As you hear the sounds of thundering claws striking at the ice. As Muerte Blanca, the awakened Axbeak sidekick, charges in along the ice tunnel. And then comes in with a slide. I have returned. It is good to see you.
Side note, I actually found a print file for an Axbeak, and I do have an Axbeak printed.
Yes.
Oh.
Perfect. I have returned. What have I missed?
Well,
Well,
there's been a lot of shenanigans, some curses.
a knockdown tower.
Also,
Mhm.
Evil tree.
what by the gods happened to you? as Muerte suddenly looks up at you, Hawks.
It's a giant thing, I guess.
You are very big, yes. But does that
Yeah,
make you giant?
found a spear that was from a giant. I guess it liked me. So now yeah, pretty big. Pretty big. I'm kind of a big deal, you know?
You are very big, yes. In size wise. As to importance, that is debatable.
Well, that ain't nice.
He is the one that jumped off the tower.
It is not nice. I simply missed you. I'm making fun of you because I care.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome. However, if you wish, I'm afraid riding on me will be no longer possible with that size. I'm afraid I will have to cut you off.
That's fine. We were doing some shenanigans where I was the one being ridden on before. You might appreciate that.
She ponders this. With her bloodshot eyes, she kind of gazes up in your direction and kind of squints them. That would be a delightful change of pace. I accept this offer. And she will leap up onto your back. Much like, you know how... this is a good comparison, actually. You know how your cats, how Fufo climbs up on you, Mike? That's how Muerte is climbing up on Hogs. Her nails digging in as she climbs upward onto your shoulder.
That sounds more like Pingu than Fufa. But...
Oh, Pingu. Oh, sorry, Pingu. Sorry, Pingu. Sorry.
No, I'm just saying, like, most of my, like, scars on my shoulder and stuff, the vast majority of them are Pingu scars.
Fufu does that as well, though, right?
No, he's a much more cuddly cat.
Oh, I
Yeah,
don't know
he
why I thought
actually knows how to keep himself from, like, hurting people. Pingu is a much smaller cat, like, appearance-wise. You'd think she was a much more delicate cat, the way she acts. And then the
She
nails
does not
come off.
like being she does
Speaking
not
of
like being
penguins.
held.
Hew. But essentially, it's how a cat climbs up a person, essentially, is how Muerte is climbing up a Hawks. And it stings a little bit, get a couple scratches, but Muerte does climb up onto your shoulder. This is absolutely exhilarating. I've never felt this feeling
How's
before.
our penguin friend?
I'm here. I'm alive. I can't really complain.
That's a very Kobold outlook on life.
As long as I'm not a part of some weird fiendish pact with some sort of fiendish creatures from the outer planes, I think I am doing okay in my book. I cannot fathom a worse fate than carrying around a bunch of old musty books for a crazy fox demon thing. So I'm good, thank you.
You know, I had a passing compulsion to say, "Hello, good, I'm Hawks," but then it passed by. Maybe it must be a lingering effect of the madness I was under.
Oh, you're mad? I guess that makes sense. I mean, only someone who's crazy could take on Scriven Scry, I guess. Oh well.
The rest of us weren't.
I mean, you'd be crazy if you follow his lead, I think. But that's neither here nor there. The point is, you're cool.
Yeah.
Probably a side effect of all the ice.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You know, things keep leaving my mouth, and after I say them, I realize how absurd they are to say. I got too used to doing this.
I have not gotten used to it entirely, and now it is coming back fresh in my mind how much I have missed it. I have missed all of you.
We've missed you. We really could have used you yesterday afternoon when we were in the museum.
Were there things to kill?
Oh, there are plenty.
Excellent. She kind of like nestles in on your shoulder, Hawks, and just kind of like glowers down at the rest of you. Very well. Bring me to that which needs to be killed.
Illusion Tower?
That does not sound like things that need to be killed. It sounds like fake things that trick me into thinking they can be killed.
Well, we'll pass things that need to be killed on the way there.
Yeah, it's been very common. City.
It will suffice.
You wouldn't think an abjuration tower would be full of things needed to be killed, would you?
I don't know. What does abjuration do?
Usually like protection and removing of curses and stuff.
Sounds almost as equally boring as that of illusion, but there might be something there.
And
We
yet,
haven't gone to the evocation one yet.
Oh, that's true.
Or the necromancy.
I was gonna say, necromancy and conjuration seem like big red flags for, like, a place where there are things to fight. But I think illusion is kind of the one that we were the closest to trying to check out. So maybe we'll get a warm-up at the illusion tower for the real fights at the later ones. How's that sound, Muerte?
This is acceptable. She nestles down like a parrot on your shoulder. Even though technically she's a large creature, so it's more like, it's like,
He's not gargantuan. He's just huge.
He's just huge. So Marte is a
Oh,
large creature.
okay.
So it's more like Marte's like a small backpack on Hawks' shoulders.
Banjo Kazooie, this shit.
Exactly. Exactly. And what is Marte if not a murderous Kazooie?
This is terrifying.
Didn't we make the comparison earlier that we like if Murte was to talk, even though we didn't fully go through this, that if Murte was just talking, it was just her going.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what you were doing for the first half of it before we awakened her.
Exactly, that's what I was doing. Yeah. It all comes around. Okay.
We
then.
never considered making Hawks 21 feet tall, though, to make it work really well.
No,
But
it
if
just
it
works out.
occurred to us as an option, we would have done it.
Mm-hmm. And yet I've just placed this in your lap to do with as you will.
And we did.
And you did.
And here we go,
And here
on
we
into
go.
the city, as I finish the ritual to cast Eldeth's telepathic bond,
Excellent.
so we can talk with each other telepathically for an hour.
So, I will say, as you're heading this direction, Villain will point out, now that I'm getting a better look, this angle is a lot better for viewing the city. I'm noticing two things. Yes, I think I see them. She will begin to circle some. Well, not circle. I will circle some things. She'll point out something here and here. That right there, that is the symbol of conjuration for that tower. I couldn't see it before because it was sort of behind that central sort of pillar and the central spire. From here I can kind of get a better look at it now that we're kind of getting this way. And over here, that is the symbol of divination. I don't see the symbol of necromancy though.
I have to share this to the group in just a second.
I do see that there's a ruin. There's the ruins of a tower down here. But there is I don't see a tower with the symbol of necromancy.
I just received print files from a Kickstarter.
Oh?
Look at that. That's a thing of beauty.
Yes.
That's 3 chunky kobolds in a trench coat.
Oh my god! This is what happens when they eat too many of those cookies.
Yeah, you eat too many of the gingerbread cookies and then you get chunky.
I have to take a look at some of the other ones. I got the chunky.
That is perfect. For those of us who are watching, we were just shared because I believe you backed something called what was it called again? The Kickstarter?
Chunky monsters.
Chunky Monsters, and he just shared with us.
Just got the email that included them. Yeah.
Yeah, just a bunch of chunky kobolds in a trench coat, and it is adorable. As adorable as it sounds.
It looks kind of Banjo-Kazooie-esque, actually.
It kind of does. I can totally see that.
Some of these other ones I gotta
We are
check
not
out. I
affiliated
got a
with Rare
good.
or Nintendo. Or Microsoft.
So, Villain will speak up again. So if that ruined tower is the one of necromancy, that will be all 8 possible towers for the ritual.
Do we want to make a beeline for the necromancy one?
What were these other 2 circles?
So this one, she recognizes as a symbol of divination. The one I'm pinging right now. You can see that. The one down here
Left.
is conjuration. And the one here, it's ruined, so she can't see the symbol like the others. But if it is like the same kind, it has the same similar kind of structure as the other towers. It could be the Tower of Necromancy, but it's currently in shambles.
What about this one at the back?
The one in the back is evocation.
Okay, so we're still missing one.
Have we been to
One,
the
two,
bazaar of the
three.
bazaar?
This one is enchantment, which you guys have been to.
I believe the Bazaar of the Bazaar is where we
It's where you fought the
encountered
golem.
the
Right.
remains of the
So I'm
golem.
going to check mark there.
Also, the Tower of Enchantment is over here. This one right here is transmutation.
Oh, I see. So it's the wrong. Okay, so which ones is it?
So this one right here is transmutation, what I'm pinging right now.
Oh, okay.
And then we move enchantment to somewhere where it's more visible, which is kind of hard to. That'll work.
There.
With that, though, that is all
Also-
8 towers accounted for if that ruined one is necromancy.
Ah, okay. There's the chance there. I have my thing too zoomed in. Okay.
Yep.
And the coffin was somewhere like here.
The coffin was somewhere more on with a red circle over here.
Oh, okay. I thought that was where the tower we knocked down was.
It's close to it. The tower you knocked down was the one right here. Which actually, let me
Okay.
let me make a small drawing of my own here. Let me make a nice little happy orange X on that one.
Oh, there was nothing important in there.
No, nothing at all. Why would you think that? So, you said you guys wanted to go to either the evocation or illusion, possibly, but now that there are new towers on the table, what are you guys thinking?
Lynn wanted to see the necromancy one. That's probably one of the ones that they went to first.
Well, again, Muerte seemed to want to, get into a fight. And if I'm going to look for something to fight, I think I'd be looking at the Conjuration or Necromancy towers. So,
Right.
Well, let's hit Conjuration on the way to Necromancy then.
Then we can swing over to divination and then the theater.
Makes sense.
Something like this.
so if I enlarge myself to become gargantuan, and someone casts Fly on me, we can make this a trivial travel situation.
Indeed, you could. As Vlin will step up and say, "I am refreshed for the day. Just you need only to ask."
Behold, Super Hawks.
Did Skanuk finish his project over the night?
I have double checked, and I can only make non-magical items and fusions.
A shame. Anyway.
So, with that in mind, you become Mega Hawks. Or Giga Hawks, I should say. As you reach gargantuan size of, let's see, with the almost 15,000 something pounds. And a massive, 42 feet high? I believe we
Yep.
said?
Yep.
You are gargantuan in every sense of the word. And as Villain casts flying and everyone gets on your back, you soar like a giant flying robot into the heart of the city.
We have officially made a Gundam Kobold.
Hawks Haggard, living Gundam.
We just need to give him like a pair of mechanical wings now, and he can just pretend to be a dragon.
He is a dragon, but he's also a giant. So he's like everything a kobold could ever wish to be.
Oh my god, a half dragon giant.
Okay, the worst part of all of this, though, is that Hawks definitely hasn't been taking off the Drist-faced mask.
He is not.
So he is a 42-foot tall draconic creature of some variety wearing an elven mask. A mask of an elf face that have scaled up to him because of the way all the enlarge effects enlarge your gear as well.
You remember me giving you those amethysts a while ago?
Yeah.
Does that change?
How big are they now that you've maxed out?
Oh, God.
Hang on, I don't think it's some. Hang on, I think it's
It's
just.
gear, but not items.
Let me double check.
That's fair.
I don't
Damn, we
know.
should have built it into your gear.
Yeah. And then we could have just pried it out and made.
So specifically, it's the armor and clothing and any weapons you're carrying. So no,
Okay.
not the gems,
The
not
mask
any other
counts,
items.
but the gems don't because they're not clothing.
The
Fair
mask is
enough.
clothing, though.
We missed an opportunity. What?
The mask is clothing, though.
Right.
mask
That's
is
why I said the
clothing.
mask counts, but not the amethysts.
Okay, so you head on towards the Tower of Conjuration.
I will say, I do have a spare shield that has been growing with me. That is presumably an extraordinarily large shield now.
Oh,
So it may be
gosh.
fodder for a sled, because I have two shields. I've got the shield we found, the pumice one,
True.
which I've been using. And then I've got the shield that I replaced. I never got rid of it. So, yeah, we've got a potential sled for the future.
Excellent.
Or armor plating for our already existing sled.
Yeah, as you approach this tower, you see that it is engraved with interlocking circles of stone, and yellow light spilling from its topmost window, and the faint sounds of brooms brushing on stonework drifts through its broken doors.
Oh no.
There is an open window, which Hawks Hagnar, you can kind of just simply just fly down and you make yourself a makeshift bridge, or makeshift platform, essentially, to lower yourself down and have your allies easily scamper into the way in. Which will reveal the interior, which you see glowing orbs being set into the walls of this 30-foot diameter circular chamber. You watch 4 hands made of shivering force hover in the center of the room, guarding a tiny ornamental tower perched on a pedestal. You will see this, I will say, before you enter into the room. Those hands, by the way, are the same large size as those spectral arcane hands that gave you a bit of a wallop beforehand. You remember them, Hux.
Big B's brand, giant hand.
How do they compare to Hawks' hands currently?
Honestly, they're about the same size, technically.
Does Hawks wear gloves?
Probably got some gauntlets as part of my,
Armor?
yeah.
If we could tame one.
Aim a wild Bigby's hand.
And then give it a giant gauntlet.
So I'm going to move you to a battle room here. Just give me just a second. Give me just a little bit.
Foolishness. Windwalk.
Now, please, O mighty reveal tool, please grant me clarity. Thank you. Now, let me move you to that new map. I do need to copy Muerte's token over from the old map, so give me a second. Again. I need to find the last place where I put Muerte's token.
Okay. It would have been before we started doing stuff in the glacier.
Right.
The old
Here,
times.
I'll just... It's because her health kind of transfers over. I'm just going to go to an older map. Oh no, that's using her old health. That won't do at all. Where's the Frost Maidens? See, here we go. Here we go. Found her. So let me just spruce that right over onto the map. So essentially, you're using Hawks as a platform for this. So
I really need to take some more time to recover. I'm getting the strange urge to look in there and say, "Hey, do you need a hand?" That's an awful joke. Who would say something like? Apparently, me.
yes,
Ugh.
I was about to say you would.
Yeah, he used to just talk about giants all the time. Which is fine. It's just that it was not the same personality that you knew. Same person, different personality. Anyway, what's going on in here?
So are you entering the room?
I'm going to like peek in, but not like step in.
Okay,
Like
you
put
peek
my
in.
head through.
Okay. Much like the outside of the tower, you notice that the interior has those concentric kind of interlocking circles that kind of dot the outside of the tower. If you like, you can go ahead and make an Arcana check if you wish.
This is the conjuration one?
This is the Tower of Conjuration, yes. 8. You have no idea what any of these symbols mean, but undoubtedly they have to do with conjuration, you just don't know how. You will also notice...
I'm also gonna just make a logical connection that they have something to do with these hands because these hands are here.
maybe. There are also some brooms that are just kind of sweeping by themselves alongside the interior, autonomously. And in the very center of the room, I described they were hovering around what appears to be a tiny ornamental tower perched on a pedestal in the center of the room.
Anything on the walls or ceilings?
Just those concentric interlocking circles, as I mentioned before.
Oh, we just want to jump on in?
I am waiting
What
for
about
any
us?
chance and bloodshed. Do not take this away from me.
Well, we're gonna do it. I just didn't know how we wanted to start it.
I vote we leap in, no consequences. Rush all in, head first.
All right. I'm just gonna do something here really quick before things get started. And I'm going to cast Divine Sanctuary on myself using Devotee of Eldath.
Very well.
And I will do a Emboldening Bond. Just to give our dear Axebeak a chance, I will put it on Skanuk, Scales, Hawks, and Marte Blanca.
Let's see here. What time is it?
Perfect.
Alright.
Oh, boy.
If you are going to rush in, go ahead and roll for initiative for me.
What was that Arcana check for, by the way? I'm kind of...
Determining what those interlocking connected circles mean in the center of the room.
Okay. Enough. I would also like to take a shot at that if that's okay, but if it's not, I understand.
I would say you could take a quick shot at it before combat starts.
While I'm like doing all my stuff to get the...
Yeah, so
while you're
yeah,
doing
like a 15. A 15 if it's before Emboldening Bond, a 19 if it's after.
I'll let you do it right after Emboldening Bond, so that's a 19 total. What you can determine, most of these interlocking circles are mostly an instructional diagram of the and mostly a representation of the planes and how they intersect with the prime material. There doesn't seem to be any that represent a particular plane. It just seems to be a general representation, although you get the sense that some of them might be nondescript demi-planes, and that you imagine the tower in the center of the room has to do with that in some way. And it might not actually be connected to the hands themselves, although they are perhaps conjured constructs, living spells, as it were.
I see. Well, time to go, Miles.
Speaking of which, I rolled a 9, and then fill in a 7. Oh, I put her on twice for some reason. Alright, I believe that's everyone except Muerte. Oh man, I haven't busted out Muerte Blanca Terror of the Tundra's character sheet in a while. Okay, she rolled an 8. Very well. Let's see, right now it is 11:30 on my end. I don't know if I think, let's see. Let's do the first round of combat and then we'll call it there for the night. Because I believe this combat might take just a little bit longer than I'd like. If only because it's so close to midnight for me.
Right. That's it.
So, for now, let's get through this first round of combat. So, in that case, Meepo, you were first up.
Where'd it go?
All right.
There it is. And I'm just going to walk in over to here and check what this box is.
Okay. As described before, it is in fact a ornamental tower perched on a pedestal. Do you interact with it in any way?
What was that Nico was warned not to touch? Was it a spire, a monolith?
So it was specifically the obelisk,
we
which
know-
this is definitely not. That.
Yeah. I know what that looks like.
We should talk about a spindle, too. Did you know there's a spindle as well as an obelisk?
I did not know there was a spindle. I'm not going to touch it. I'm just looking.
Did you just
I
look
can't
at the tower?
interact with it anyway. I've used my action already.
Well, technically, you can use a free action to touch it if you wanted, but
I'm not gonna touch it.
right. Fair enough. I'm just saying, like, there's a free action to
Right.
to touch, interact with certain things. But of course, you're just gonna look at it. All right, just looks to be a tiny ornamental tower. I will say there are certain interlocking circles that are on the tower that match those on the floor.
Okay. I've noted that, and I'm going to. Do the hands look like they can tell where I am?
I need to double check that actually.
They have blind sight. Is the main question. Because if they do, this is a poor choice. But I have sanctuary, so I should be okay. But
Should be. I need to double check. For some reason, they do not appear to see you per se. Although you get the sense they sense the presence of a living creature as they suddenly become active.
okay. In which case, I'm going to. I'm going to move on to this back side,
Very well.
and I'm invisible too.
Alright, you going to turn there?
Yep.
Very well then. Scales, that means it is your turn.
Sorry, I had to plug in my computer.
Oh, no problem, no problem.
His computer's also saying it's almost a night.
Oh, good.
Because why not?
Yeah, why not?
So I get advantage on 2 of them and 2 are regular. So I'll do the 2 regular and then the 2 advantage.
Alrighty. Go ahead and roll those attacks. Okay, so that's the first regular one for 41 points of force damage.
Disgusting.
Disgusting. Alright, for the second normal one, that is actually going to, let's see, that is 18 with the emboldening bond, and 18 unfortunately still misses.
Really?
Yes, these living spells seem to pack a little bit more AC.
You know what? That 15 is actually going to be a 20.
It will actually be higher than that. It will actually be a 20,
23.
23 technically. So with a 23, that will hit then, which means 38 points force damage to that boyo.
One expenditure of Flash of Genius.
The 17 with advantage, unfortunately, will miss the one in the back.
I only got one.
Still, that's a lot. That's a lot. That's a no joke of damage that you just let through with that. 22 points. Sorry, the 22 to hit will hit though for 29 points of damage. A significant blow to these creatures.
And I end right there.
Nico
Okay.
just peacefully walks through. Scales tears everything up as he runs through.
Okay.
That is my turn.
Okay, so now it is the Living Arcane Hands' turns. Wow, everyone, I just realized how low everyone else rolled on initiative. Oh, jeez. You have Sanctuary out, right, Meepo?
I do.
Alright. These two hands are gonna swarm Yuskina, and these two are gonna... This first one's gonna try and hit you. Keyword being
no.
try.
Wisdom save.
Yeah, with the wisdom save.
DC 17.
Oh, I
17?
can't cast Shield this turn, can I?
That's a natural one.
Doesn't matter.
Uh,
Oh, wait, no, it does. Shit.
Is that the wisdom save?
That's the wisdom save to hit Meepo, which
Okay.
fails with a natural one. So both of these are gonna smack on Scales instead, though. 1d20 plus a lot. Wow, a 12
That
and a 13 for the other one.
the 13 just barely hit.
Oh wait, a 13 hits you?
Yeah, my AC is 13.
Oof. Okay.
We have got to fix that.
Well, you will take 25 points.
So
of...
here's the thing.
Yeah.
It's instead going to smack the one right next to it.
Okay. Let me double check. Does it have to hit the AC of a different creature? The chosen creature becomes the target of the attack using the same roll. And it rolled a 13, so that will make it miss.
I see.
Well, 25 less damage. So.
Well, I was gonna say, if that's the case, then instead I would want to use a runic shield and make it re-roll the attack roll.
It already, I will say, that was a 3 plus 10 for a 13. But if that is what you wish to do, I will do so.
Yeah, I could still roll a natural one. I just don't want to, like, do nothing to keep this from happening, potentially. You know what I mean?
Right. The lower roll will still go through, though, for 25 points of damage. Which means, okay, and that goes through then for Scales. That means the other two hands will try, keyword being try, and hit Skanuk. So 2, let's see here. Wow. A 13 again. And a
Oh.
And a natural 20
Hawk,
for
please.
Skanuk.
Hawks, please. I think I did use my reaction.
Fuck. Okay, so did I. Fuck. Okay, here we go.
Yep. Here
Fuck
we go,
yeah,
boys. That's 8d8 plus 8 for 43 points of bludgeoning damage.
Sorry.
Surprised I don't have a reaction that can do something.
It's all good. You can't predict a natural 20. Don't worry. Sometimes these things happen.
Who is it that just got chunked?
Skanuk?
Is Skinnock alive?
Yeah, I'm alive. I am at 33 of 76.
Okay.
He's looking a little rough.
That was a bit more than half my health. Let me just go ahead
I
and
have a
pull up the
spell that can
lingering
basically
injuries
put you
table.
back at full health.
One moment.
It is now Morte's turn, now that the living hands are done with.
The rage ensues.
Ah, that's right. So what
And I have a
happens
limp.
with this one?
Broke my leg.
Ouch! As the fist cracks into your leg, you hear a solid snapping sound. And your leg hurts extremely badly. You now have a limp, Skanuk. Your speed on foot is reduced by 5 feet. And you must make a DC 10 dexterity saving throw after using the dash action. Which if you fail that save, you fall prone. Magical healing will remove the limp, fortunately. As Skanuk screams out for his fibula, flying in shatters and tatters, Muerte, Blanca, Terror of the Tundra, takes her turn. Muerte, Blanca, dashing through the snow. Muerte, Blanca, seeking out her foe. The flash of her beak, her claws like a streak. Muerte, Blanca, Muerte, Blanca. She takes her attacks. Open up. Beak. With advantage, of course, because they're at not full hit points. With Bloodthirst. The 18 for the beak will miss, but the 26 will hit. 4. 8 points of slashing damage. The one most hurt. And it is still up, but it is looking quite rough. So now we're at you, Skanuk. You're looking pretty rough. Also, Morte's over here, teetering on the edge of Hawks.
I am currently in melee with 2 of them.
Yes,
It's
you
not
are.
great. Let's see if we can't fix that. How hurt do they look?
I will say, this one looks like its essence is about to spill out into the ethereal, meaning it's about to probably go down. This one's a little bit more resilient, but also looking pretty rough.
Okay. Let's see. I'm going to cast Thunderwave.
Okay.
And I'm going to upcast it? Yes, I'm going to upcast it. It's the 2nd level.
Okay, that's con save, correct?
I think so. Let me think. Is it a con save? That is a con save. Could I go with just like a fireball? Is that easier? I could. Wait, no. 24 radius. I could get it with a shatter. No. Alright. Just a thunder wave, yeah.
Just Thunderwave? Okay.
Okay, so that'll be a Constitution saving throw.
They're pretty beefy. That's the 24 and an 18.
Damn, so they're not going to get pushed back, but they will take half of 14 damage. That'll be 20.
Thankfully, though, that is enough to take out the one on the left, as its essence scatters everywhere. This one
One?
is still up, however.
Okay. I am going to clamber away. Be prepared to cast shield, I guess.
Alright, here we go. 16.
Okay. Not today. Not this day.
Alright, as the ball
Oh,
of fist whizzes past your head as you duck under it and weave, scampering away.
Alright. Yep. And hopefully being on Hawks' face means they will be able to get to me.
And technically, Hawks is acting as a platform for you all right now.
It's glorious.
You're sitting on
And,
like his eyebrow.
Yep.
Is that your turn, though, Skinner?
Let's see. Oh, I have a superior healing potion. That's too big. All right. Yeah, that'll be my turn.
Alright, now it is Villain's turn. It's like, hold on, Skinnock. I've got your back. And she will try and be a bit conservative. But does she... Well, actually, no. She will not be, actually.
That's fine. Just kill them.
Yeah, no, she's actually not going to be. Now, think about it. Because she's worried that she's going to miss. So she will instead... Yeah, she'll totally do that. She's going to lightning bolt these two right here. Oh, are you kidding me?
What the heck? Do these things have advantage on saves against magic?
Technically they do, yes.
So that's one. One of them made it.
Yes, I said, you know what, that's exactly what that is.
One
There.
of them, like, flipped her off while maneuvering around.
And yeah.
Exactly.
So we
Right,
have-
so, yeah. What are those little tiny, like, finger skateboards called?
Oh, those
Yes.
tech decks? Yeah.
Yes, the hand pulls out a tech deck and, like, does a trick to avoid the...
Yeah, you watch this, it conjures an ethereal board fitted
That
with
date
wheels,
us.
and it spins it around, and it kind of like flips Villain the bird as it soars away. It'll still take half, and the other one will take full.
To our listeners, now you know our general age.
No, don't think about the passage of time. Stop talking about the passage of time. Thankfully though,
Oh my god, that roll.
yeah, I mean, to be fair, it is enough to take out this one regardless.
That was the right-handed one,
That was the right-handed one.
or the left-handed one was the tech deck. Okay, so it's not left Anonicus, it's left hand.
Exactly. It is still
Left-handed
up,
fellow
but it's
too.
looking hurt. And so, Hux, you are last up on the initiative order before we'll close out tonight's session. What do? As everyone else is standing on your shoulders and your head.
I don't know that I can really get in there to fight right now. But I do have a pile of javelins that I grabbed at some point. Yes, I have 6 javelins, normal javelins, that I can yeet. I can only really throw 2 of them. So, I guess this one right here on the left, I will throw 2 javelins at.
Okay. Go ahead and throw your javelins. Yeah, 14 will unfortunately miss. A 21, though, will hit.
Then I'll get the D4 for being enlarged as well.
Excellent, excellent. Alright, as one of those javelins hits it in the palm like a pincushion, it kind of scrunches up its form and kind of like breaks the javelin off, kind of just pushing it out of its form. And as those 2 hands kind of wiggle their fingers in anticipation as they are about to lay down some punishment on Meepo and Scales, we are going to end the session there for tonight.
So I am invisible, which should be noted when they do make their.
That is true. If they do manage to break through the save.
I will.
Yeah, go ahead and type out that you're invisible in the chat. So just so I remember it for next time, hopefully.
There.
Invisible and sanctuary. All right. Until next time, though. I hope you're safe wherever you are. And I hope you have yourself a good night. But until then, bye-bye.
Peace.
Peace.